Hey, welcome to our lesson on overcoming the fear of failure. So, let's just talk a little bit about fear and then we'll talk a little bit about the exercise to come. So, fear is just a natural feeling, and a lot of times we don't want to just allow it to be, right? So, first, our brain automatically goes to fear, and it's meant to do that because our brains are meant to protect us. And our brains are meant to be and work efficiently. Now, that sounds good, but in the case of our brains, what it tends to mean is that we operate on repeat. So let's explain further. Repeat, right? So we are creatures of habits because our brains work efficient. And so our brains go to the things that we always do. So anytime that we want to do something that we haven't been doing, our brain will freak out and it will give us all the reasons why we shouldn't. So much so that if we listen to it, we will talk ourselves out of the things that we dream about. So, as an example, let's say you have hopes or dreams of getting to the vice president level, or you want to be at the vice president level. Maybe you want to be at a level higher than that because you're already there, but you're afraid. Why are you afraid? Because your brain is giving you all the bad things that could possibly happen in order to keep you safe. Now, in this case, your brain is doing its job and you shouldn't listen to it, right? Your brain, again, is meant to keep you safe, but in this case, what you want to do does not cause you real life or death harm. Now, one could say that I am comfortable here in this job that I have. I don't like it, but it pays the bills and all those things. And there is some level of provision that is being taken care of at this current level. And so you may be afraid to test the waters to venture out because you feel safe. You feel safe where you are in your current role, but you're unhappy in your current role, right? So you gotta think about whether or not you want which one you want more. Do you want to stay here and play it safe? I venture to say not really because you're here in this course or in this hub, if you will. So that means how do you get your brain to kind of realize why you're afraid and still be able to go after your dreams? And that is what the exercise for this lesson is going to help you with. One, first we have to identify what exactly it is that we're afraid of. And sometimes when it comes to our careers, it might be more than one thing that we're afraid of, right? It could be we're afraid that we're going to fail. It could be we're afraid that we're going to get embarrassed. It could be afraid that people won't like us. There's a multitude of things that kind of go on in the workplace that we might be afraid of. So it might be one of those things, it might be all three. So we want to identify what it is and just ask yourself, why really are you afraid of it? In most cases, it really comes back down to what we think other people will think about us or our own self worth, right? And so that's really why we did a lot of that work before we got to this lesson, right? But let's see if it comes up for you again, right? So you're going to go through that as a part of this lesson. And then we're going to talk about how do you overcome the fear barrier, right? And I really want you to take hold of giving fear a new meaning when it comes to work, right? I want you to be able to distinguish between my brain is trying to keep my physical person safe, i.e., I feel danger that may harm me, so I should remove myself. Now, let's talk about danger, one in the physical aspect, and two in the emotional mental aspect. Keeping your person safe can apply in the workplace, right? So while it may not be life or death, if you are in a situation where you feel like you are not safe, either physically, of course, you should follow whatever company protocol and do whatever you can to be safe physically. But when it comes to a mental and emotional safety, right? We all want to be in a safe place in during our work hours, right? So if you're in an environment where you feel like you are unsafe from an emotional perspective, so maybe there is sexism, gaslighting, any of those racism, right? Any of those things that just make you feel unsafe. If you enter into a conversation with someone and your body gives you vibes that says this is not the person for me, then you want to move on, right? Everybody is not for you, right? So that is your brain, your intuition, all of those things telling you, hey, this isn't for you. And those are the things that we should heed. Now, when it comes to doing something new, your brain will automatically perceive that as dangerous, and that is not what I'm talking about. I want you to explore that, right? So take a new opportunity, pivot, transition in my career, take on a leadership role. We need more women willing to lead teams and manage people, right? The more willing we are to do that, the more it increases your chances of moving up. Just side note, there is only so far you can move up as an individual contributor because the people are at the top are required to lead other people, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to learn early and develop early the skill set, but we can't be afraid. So ask yourself why you're afraid of that. What exactly is it you think you can't do, or why exactly you think you can't do it? And I want you to work through that in the overcoming the fear barrier. Also, if it's a skill deficit, if it's something like that, bring that to the group. We are all here to tell you how you can close the gap. And even more in the next lesson or in the next module, we're going to be talking about skills and abilities, right? So just get it all down. Become aware of what you're afraid of because once you know what it is, that's how we overcome it. Remember, failure doesn't exist. People say that failure is not an option. It's not an option because it doesn't exist. If you don't get what you want the first time, it just means something needs to be tweaked. You learn what needs to be tweaked and you do it again until you get what you want. It doesn't mean stop. All right, I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Don't forget to reach out, join the Facebook group, come, let us know how it's going. We look forward to seeing you.